Hello.
You guys feel fortunate to get out of there with avoiding overtime the way those final seconds played out?
Absolutely. I haven't seen the play at all. It looked like to me that I thought Jalen played pretty good D, but they called it, so I'm sure he did. And we missed. I could be wrong on this. I think our last 7 free throws opportunities, we were 2 for 7. Christian missed the front end. That counts as 2. Bryce missed 1. David missed 1. And Marcus missed his only. And then to have us shoot it so poorly from the line down the stretch, and then to have them, they shot it poorly for the game. But to have their best player obviously miss one late, that was we were fortunate, very fortunate. But the game should have never been in that situation, though. Even though it was a great game and either team could have won, we had a chance to certainly put ourselves in a position where that couldn't happen, and then we almost really screwed it up. So we were pretty lucky.
Hey, Coach, if before the game someone had told you that Oach wasn't going to score, how do you see this playing out?
Probably not very well. Oach has been and you guys know he's probably been our most consistent player over the first 5 games, and he didn't play as well today, and we had to have some guys step up, and I thought Jalen was great. I thought David was really good early, and Jalen was great. CB was good. Marcus was good and solid, and then Bryce came in there in the second half, and I thought played very well. And Mitch also gave us some great minutes second half, and Tristan did the first half. So we had some guys off the bench play pretty well, even though it's kind of somewhat limited. But to win the game without Oach having really an effective game, I think does speak well for us. And we were in such a good position. And how many times do we have balls in our hands and somehow they come up with the ball and get a layup? I mean, that happened twice in the last 10 minutes. And David had the ball twice on offense, on rebounds where we don't come away with anything because they were able to get it out of our hands. And so there were some things that we can do to play, I think, stronger with the ball. But for the most part, our guys competed their butts off the whole game. It was a fun game. They're good. They're really good.
Bill, what'd you think of that last offensive sequence where Bryce gets cut off by the hedge and then makes a pass to David, and David hits Jalen? Just what'd you think on that, and for David to be willing to make that pass?
Well, I'm not only willing to make the pass, but to be under control enough not to charge, or not, because the defender was right there behind him. And I thought, it was a great play. I can't remember who threw the ball to him initially.
Bryce did.
Bryce threw and Bryce made a couple of really good passes, but Bryce threw the ball to him. And then, of course, David gathered and played off 2 feet and then found Jalen, and Jalen knocked it down. And of course, Jalen was terrific. I mean, unbelievable. But for a freshman, it's just unbelievable. But that was definitely a good play by David.
Bill, what do you think of Marcus once you checked him back in the second half toward the end of the game?
I thought he was pretty good. I thought he guarded pretty well. Marcus is never going to be a standout guy from a point standpoint. You guys know that. And, they backed off of him and he didn't get to the basket. But how about the last finish he had when he did get to the basket? That was tremendous. And we did execute. We had a couple of opportunities to execute late, and we came away with 5 points in those opportunities, and we just didn't get the stops on the other end because we found a way to kind of self-induce some negative things on the other end. But I thought Marcus was solid, and the pass he made to CB, that was a good play as well.
Coach, I know you're busy during the game, obviously, but what'd you make of having fans in there? How'd that feel and look, and how did it all go to you? In your perspective?
I thought it felt good. It felt like an NCAA tournament game because there were obviously fans from both sides. Let's call it like it is. Creighton brought 500-700 fans. So I thought it didn't have the full home court that what we would have if it was all us. And even at 2,500, but I thought it was great. I'd much rather have fans from both schools and not have fans at all. So I was happy about that. I was a little disappointed in take this for what it's worth, and nobody probably cares. But if our fans can't come to the games, don't sell them on a secondary market. Give them to a Jayhawk fan, sell them to a Jayhawk fan, call the ticket office and let us pay you back for them. Hell, I'll pay you back. I will personally pay you back for the tickets if you cannot come, so we can give them to a Kansas fan. That was the only thing about the day that was remotely negative, even though it was still great that we had people in the building.
Bill, what's this been like for you? Each game is different in the bench pieces maybe that you use, and who's your go-to scorer. Are you really filling games out game to game like more so than you have in the past? What's that kind of been like?
I think it's been okay, but I'm not settled in on anything. I want to play Tyon, and he wasn't really effective in the minutes and get in there, and then you get into a game and which some other guys are playing pretty well, and just decide to go that direction. But I really don't know. It's strange to me that we can be so much better with some lineups against certain personnel, and then with other lineups against different personnel, we're totally a better team if some of the guys that played so well against certain lineups are not in the game. So I think it's going to be game to game on who's in there and trying to figure it out. But I thought for the most part, offensively, we got some good looks. We got what we wanted for the most part, and we just got to be able to knock them down. And fortunately, we did from beyond the arc. We just didn't do it from inside the arc.
These 6 games, such a whirlwind, such a short amount of time, and you've talked a lot about not really having time to prep for 5 guards before the season. How valuable will some practice time be to that end, working on those lineups, and just, how high can that take your ceiling when you can actually work on it?
Well, yeah, I think it'll improve us. We're not going to have a chance to work on it until after Christmas, because obviously we take tomorrow off, then you play Friday, Sunday, and then you'll take Monday off, and you're preparing for Texas Tech. So there's no time to do anything until probably December 27th or 28th, at least major changes. But we did a few things different today, and they turned out okay. They did a good job really hedging the ball screens, and we kind of slipped out of it and had some decent things happen out of it. We didn't take advantage like I thought we could, but I think that we can get better at it. I think we need to be a team that can play both ways, and it was good to see David get off to such a good start early in the game, and good to see Mitch give us great minutes late. But playing 5 guards is definitely a realistic possibility for us, for big stretches of every game.
Sure.
Hey, Bill, you went with Bryce late. He had that turnover. You kept him in the game, and then obviously he makes the big pass into David that leads to the 3. Why'd you trust him to stay out there after that turnover?
Well, I thought Bryce, Bryce is not gun shy. He's a confident kid. I thought that Bryce could make a shot if put in a position to make a shot. I thought he defended very well. And he needs to learn and go through that, because obviously he wasn't strong with the ball there. But, it was just a game in which we were just trying to play the guys that were playing the best in that game. Oach, I'd been over there a while, and it didn't have anything to do negative with Oach. But, if a guy's going to come in and then be asked to make a shot or do something like that, and he hasn't been in the game for 10 minutes, I'm not sure that's the best position to put him in. So that's the reason why.
Bill, what can your guys do better to finish more often on layups?
It's been unbelievable. Well, first of all, in transition, you got to make an extra pass. All you got to do is throw the ball to the right guy in transition. It's 2 points. Instead, we come away with nothing twice. But we just need to practice. This sounds ridiculous. We need to practice 2-on-1s. We need to practice 3-on-1s. Those should be automatic, and for us not to convert those is certainly would make that's a difference in shooting 40% and shooting 50% just on converting 3 in tight. So we got to do a better job there. I also think that we need to drive to pass more. I think too many times that we're not our standing height isn't such where when you go down there, like Marcus, the first play, of this game, we tried to post him on their Marcus and got exactly where we wanted to get it, but he shot faked and allowed the weak side to come block his shot. That's the kind of stuff that we don't need to do. Just catch it and go. And we allow help to get there too often, and then we're not tall enough many times to play over the help. But it's things that we just got to work on. I think we'll get better at it.
Coach, can you talk about the spark that Jalen brought to the offense? I think at one point he had like 12 points between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half.
Well, yeah, he was, second half didn't start great, and he made a couple of – I don't know if he made 2 threes to start the second half, but I know he made 1. But, yeah, he's a good player, man. He's a really good basketball player, and he loves right now how he's playing because he's playing everywhere. I mean, here he is, a guard or a forward or a center, and he's able to drive big guys or play behind the arc when he's got certain guys on him. He's really doing a good job on the glass. But I mean, it's getting to the point where we kind of expect him to produce. And I don't expect him to go 4 for 6 every game, but he has no fear, and that's I didn't think he had it. But until you've actually coached him, once we started plays, I mean, this dude's got no fear. I mean, he likes the moment. And so I look for him to continue to improve and give us more and more as we move along.
Couple more for Coach. Any more?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
You
See
got
you guys. Somebody have one?
You got time? One more?
Yeah.
Just when we talked a minute about it, but when you look at that, those 6 games in 12 days and, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Creighton, I mean, you made it through that now. I know you got a couple coming up right away, but when you have time to look back on that, I mean, how impressive is it that your team was able to just find a way to grind through that with just 1 loss and to look pretty good at most points doing it?
I think it's impressive that we found a way to grind it out. I mean, especially after the Gonzaga game where we played such poor defense. And today's wasn't great at all by any stretch, but they're hard to guard. But I think that is pretty impressive that we found a way to grind it out and different guys contributed in different ways. But we can't take our breath now. Obviously you have 2 more games, but the games that really matter start in we play in Lubbock on Thursday, I think. Start in 9 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we got a lot of stuff we got to improve on before we're ready to take on those first 2 league games.
See, it was worth it, right?
Was that?
It was worth it, right? One more?
Oh yeah. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
Thanks.
Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
guys.